right, Roxstars. First up, Politrix, YSAP. He has been with the fool of fucking niggotry for sure this week. Actually, it's every week, but it seems to be growing as the weeks go on. If I can get any pleasure out of his stupidity, it's that I feel like he is doing himself in for this election that's coming up in November. If things were to go smoothly and there weren't any voting tampering, and if there weren't any voter suppression, and if there was not all these other methods that they take to keep people from putting their vote in, you know, if everything were to go the way that it was supposed to, at this point, I think that he would lose. Okay. Of course, I say that with a lot of hesitation because we cannot allow ourselves to get comfortable with just thinking that he will automatically lose, even though his poll numbers are going down the tubes and everybody is about sick of him. I won't say everybody, he still has his base, but it's a whole bunch of people that's tired of YSAP. He's so out of control right now and just doing whatever he can because it feels like he knows that it's coming and he's just gonna stick it to the people as much as he can while he still has the power. Of course, the biggest topic right now is the Rona, and I just never understand why people feel that they would take the advice of a person who is not a medical professional. Why would you listen to them when you have highly respected medical professionals who are telling you what it is when it comes to this disease or this virus? Why on earth would you? I wouldn't even, even if it was President Barack Obama and he was trying to tell us, oh, it's not this, oh, it's not that, I still wouldn't feel comfortable believing him if he was going against highly respected medical professionals who know how this goes. I mean, you have Dr. Fauci, who is the top expert in infectious diseases, I believe is what his field is. And he's worked in pandemics and he really knows what he knows about this disease, who has been very forthcoming and truthful, and I believe on the right side of all of this. He was in a peculiar place because he was working with the Trump administration, but I believe that he has always been truthful with whatever he knows, right? Why would you believe anything that YSAP says? It makes no sense to me. This is the same man that told you to drink Lysol. It wipes it out. He would like people to look into that. Like, what? I don't understand. So now his administration they say are responsible for trying to besmirchify, shout out to Don King, Fauci's name, and saying, that he's lied in the past and he didn't know what he was talking about on certain things. He said it very early on that people didn't have to worry about this virus and that they shouldn't change their, the way that they were doing things as far as life was concerned. At the time, of course, this was very early at the beginning of this pandemic when we didn't really know exactly where it was going to go. They did leave out the fact that he said very much after that, even in that same conversation, that it could get worse. But for now, it doesn't look like everybody needs to start panicking. That's what all of us was saying, even including myself. I'm not a medical professional, but everybody at the beginning thought that it wasn't something that we needed to worry about. We found out soon enough that maybe it was something we needed to pay attention to, So it's unfortunate that they are trying to discredit him and make him look bad and quiet him. You don't see him at YSAP's, conversations that he has with the media. You don't see him anywhere. They're trying to really snuff him out, even though YSAP will continue to say that he's good friends with Fauci and all of that. Well, Fauci, kind of no nonsense, just kind of wants to take care of the business at hand, has said he has no idea why they're doing that. It's very bizarre. And he wishes that everybody would get back to what is important, which is trying to find a vaccine or trying to find the medication that will help fight this virus. Okay. And yes, I know some of you are against vaccines and all that. I'm just telling you what Fauci said. So, it's been very tiresome to actually see that. And I made it a point to really just stay off. I don't really even watch the news and stuff anymore because it is a shit show, Even when you watch CNN from 8 o'clock till midnight, if you watch Andy and Chris Cuomo and Don, if you watch them, they so fucking pissed off at Trump that they are just always in a bad mood and always so disgusted and upset with it. I mean, it's just, everybody's over it. Everybody is over it. And I don't know, but this whole thing with the Rona and people trying to say that it's a lie and it wasn't as big as it is, and I just will never understand why people choose to believe YSAP, who has just lied on so many occasions, just so many. It baffles me, you guys. But anyway. Moving on from that, because that's just more of the same. Did you guys see down in, or I guess up from here in Kentucky, where they were holding a protest at the Attorney General's home because they wanted him to press charges on the officers who were responsible for the death of Breonna Taylor. They said it was over 100 people that were out there. They started at a high school and they ended up on the Attorney General's lawn of his home, and they had, they staged the protest and sat there and would not leave. Eventually the police were called out and they told them that if they didn't leave, they were going to be arrested. And most of the group stayed. 87 people ended up getting arrested. And in those 87 people were some names that we know. Of course, Portia Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Yandy Smith from Love and Hip Hop New York, Tamika Mallory, who is heading this whole protest and trying to work with Breonna Taylor's mother, trying to get justice for Breonna Taylor. There was a known football player who was also with the group, and there were some other celebrities that were out there making their voices heard and were peacefully arrested. They didn't put up any fight or anything like that. Portia and Yandy, and they are still fighting the good fight and trying to make it happen, and it was all over the blogs. They were arrested for felonies, okay, because they're saying that they were trying to intimidate the Attorney General into filing a charge instead of going along with the process of the investigation. I'm not even sure, is there still an investigation going on, but they were charged with felonies for that because they said that they were trying to what is the word? I just said it. Intimidate and pressure the Attorney General into charging the guys. And there were some other misdemeanors and charges there, but the felony, that is the felony that they are facing. So I don't know if there will be any jail time with that. Probably not, but maybe there will be some other things that they have to do if they are found guilty in that. That's what's going on in Kentucky. We saw that North Carolina, they had a unanimous vote to give reparations to the Black folks. Before you get real excited about that check, Black folks in North Carolina, okay, hold your horses, slow your roll. It won't be in the form of cash. It will actually be in the form of providing more economic support to communities in the form of education or healthcare or whatever. And I was just like, okay, well, I mean, we ain't gonna complain with that. But that's what they should have been doing in the first fucking place. So it doesn't really feel like you getting reparations when you're supposed to be doing it, okay? Everybody should be getting equal health care and education, chance at education. It's the same as when somebody says, yeah, I babysit my kids all the time. You know, I let their mama go to work and I watch my kids. It's just like, but you're supposed to watch your kids because they're your fucking kids. How you letting somebody go somewhere when they your kids? You know? So it's the same thing. It's just like, okay, well, you giving money to a situation where you should have been doing it in the first fucking place. So I was just like, I mean, fine. And then who is going to be watching to make sure that this is even done? It all sounds good, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I hate to sound like I'm down on that. You know, I mean, fuck, give it to them if that's what you got to do. But do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, well, I'm supposed to be jumping up and down for joy for something that I should have rightfully been having just as a citizen of North Carolina, you know, so. That's that on that, you guys. I don't know what else we could talk about in politics. Let's see. Was there another story that I said that I wanted to talk about? YSAP is here in Georgia. He didn't go to the CDC. Oh, that's what I also wanted to talk about. YSAP is also making the states now report to his administration the amount of people with the virus, the amount of people who have been, who have died from the virus. You now will send that information to Trump's administration and not to the CDC. Okay. And of course, everybody knows that makes no sense. Again, why are we sending something to somebody that has nothing to do with the medical profession? You know, it feels like they're going to be manipulating the numbers. And because he already feels like the numbers are already blown up and all of that. It's just like, hey! Anyway, he's here in Atlanta. He's gone, I'm sure, by now. But he was here yesterday. And he went and spoke at a UPS plant, I believe. Then he went on back home, pissed everybody off with this Goya picture that he took. There's so much shit going on in the world, and this is the damn thing you doing, is taking pictures with the Goya products. If you guys watch Chris Como, he just said it was bullshit. I was just like, ooh. I'm telling you, they are so over it over there. They just cursing and carrying on and saying all kind of stuff. So it's a crazy time. It's a wild time, y'all. It's a wild time. But anyway, that's it. That's what all the things that I wanted to talk about with politics. If there's more to the politics that I might have missed, you are welcome to talk about it in the comments below.